Assalamu'alaikum and Greetings everyone. Alhamdulillah, we had completed the January 2020 Architecture Design Studio 6. In this video, we're going to look into one of the top students in the studio, Soon Seng. His project is located at Site 3. The project was selected as the second runner-up for the UTAR Biannual Final Year Project Poster Competition 2020. The title of the project is IRAMA, literally translated as Rhythm, a performance art center for Kampong Bharu. He took a cue from the now destroyed Pentas Pasar Minggu, which was located not too far from the proposed site. It is sort of a replacement for this very popular social gathering space in Kampong Bharu. Let's hear from him his recorded presentation.
Site 2 can be defined as a combination of tall high-rise residentials with roadside businesses along the site that promotes daily festivity from day to night, strongly reflecting the local culture as well as identity with some notable site issues. So how exactly will a new proposed design fit into the established program and structure? Site 2 is shaded by two residential condominiums, known as Flat PKNS and residents, with festivity coming from the food street of Jalan Raja Muda Musa. Jalan Hassan Salleh connects recently built Assalamu'alaikum bridge that connects the site to the heart of KL, as well as LRT Kampong Bharu station. Both roads are the main accessibility on site. So, how exactly will the new proposed design fit into the established program and structure? The overall massing idea is to formulate an urban wall, enclosure against the tall buildings on site while opening up to the community through fenestration that welcomes for more cross-circulation through the internal streets that encourage communal activities. Firstly, was to determine the setback criteria on site. The spatial allocation is heavily influenced by the quay view on site as well as existing site forces. As mentioned earlier, the building height is influenced by the residential on site, allocating bigger spaces and height priority against the residential building, forming a gradual increase in height from a visual perspective from Food Street to Ra Residence and Flat PKNS. By doing so, it opens up the internal plaza to the existing residential community and Food Street. The urban walls are then elevated by pilotis, opening up to allow cross-circulation internally, forming a connection between different residential community with one building that encourages social exchanges and activities. The intention of the design can be categorized into significant landmarks and features of Kampong Bharu, giving a design solution that can fit in ideally. Firstly is to provide an alternative solution to replace Dewan Pentas Pasar Minggu as a central entertainment hub. With the newly established Assalamu'alaikum bridge, it creates a potential attraction point to the main city, capitalizing on the after-work activities as well as weekend programs. In terms of Food Street, the idea is to create an end experience to the daily existing audience of Food Street, providing complementary program. Besides that, the aim is to revive and provide a designated space and program of Wayang Pacak to the local, a well-known source of entertainment to the local from the past. For long-term solution, the proposed design aimed to fit into the future proposal of a heritage and cultural park. All the intentions are then reflected through the design concept. The main design conceptual idea of the proposed design is to create a breathing space for the locals. The conceptual idea can be indirectly and directly reflected from the design. So what do I exactly mean? The indirect translation is reflected through the rhythm, or stages of experience for the locals, hence the name IRAMA, which means rhythm. The idea is to basically provide a supplementary program that fits in ideally to the existing crowd and festivity on site. For example, after-work activities are plenty on site, with the majority of crowd preferring to commute and walk to Food Street to purchase their food because it's cheaper in price, which is conceptually the beginning phase of experience. It's then complemented by the proposed design, providing an end experience to their day by providing an entertainment hub for them. On the other hand, the direct translation is through the application of green technology and passive design that allows the site to breathe. The concurrent main issue on site is the substantial amount of waste it produces, being a food street littered with waste and produces air and smell pollution. Local hawker store businesses are also craving for more space to run their businesses, with limited pedestrian walkability on site. So how exactly is it reflected to the actual design? Mentioned earlier, the proposed design comprises a functional program that suits the local existing needs and program. Programs such as outdoor theatre and amphitheatre are the main hosts of entertainment for the locals. The outdoor theatre is designed with the key view in mind, the view towards the cityscape of KL. The idea is to provide an experience that is uniquely specific on site, one being the program itself, Wayang Pacak, a staple entertainment source of the local, as well as a site-specific experience visually, the cityscape as mentioned earlier. For the amphitheatre, the main idea is to use minimal raw materials to reflect a blank canvas, allowing the performers to paint the canvas with colourful cultural performances, lightened up by the natural sunlight. Incubation space and prop workshops are introduced to allow a smoother adaptability and transition of the locals to the future development of turning the site into a cultural park. Incubation space allows the next generation to drop by and learn about performance and art, as they are the main adopters of the future redevelopment. Prop workshop, on the other hand, is to provide an alternative source of income for the local as well as sparking interest to the field. The loss of Dewan Pentas Pasar Minggu also disrupted local businesses of antiques and embroideries, hence the idea is to bring them back. Gallery and rehearsal studios are introduced to allow the locals and non-locals to relive and remember past films and arts and performances that will further spearhead the movement towards cultural park redevelopment. In terms of direct application, passive design such as natural ventilation and sunlight through the natural shading designed with Islamic motifs. Use of plants to filter and improve indoor air quality from the existing issue of smell pollution on site. Lastly is the implementation of bioswale system, channels designed to concentrate and convey stormwater runoff while removing debris and pollution. They also help recycle and reuse rainwater as well as a natural air filtration from the smell, as mentioned earlier. In the long run, it can hopefully help resolve the current issue of compactness of the pedestrian walkway that do not allow for much communal activities. With the proposed solution, it allows the locals to continue their daily businesses or activities in a much greener and comfortable space. In terms of architectural style influences, there are a couple of elements taken from the traditional Malay architecture. The use of stilts, incorporating the traditional ventilation design. Spaces are also divided by different floor levels with limited use of walls and partition to allow for more flexible space use. In terms of roof, the gable roof is mixed with occasional flat roof to create a slight contrast, giving it a slight modernistic twist. On the other hand, facade design of the building is heavily influenced by the weaving of packed rice, otherwise known as ketupat. Traditional Malay motifs are also incorporated to the facade design as a method to promote for more cross-ventilation as well as to represent the existing local identity. To conclude, the solution allows the locals to breathe, learn and perform in all stages of development, providing an entertainment hub that the local needed, providing several attempts to resolve current on-site issues, as well as proposing an appropriate solution that can fit into the future scheme of redevelopment. I am Bay and thank you for watching.
He was successful in a way by coming up with a program which are relevant and modern yet have a tie with Kampong Bharu colourful past. A critical comment on this proposal is some of the spatial experience in the building is not fully resolved, like the grand foyer and the workshop on the ground floor. some technical requirement for such a building, like the acoustics required to have for a building with so many recordings and rehearsal studios, are not being explained clearly. However, in my opinion, all this can be further developed and resolved and doesn't affect the overall strength of the proposal. Congratulations, Bay Soon Seng. Hope this will spur him to achieve more success in the future. If you have a different opinion, please leave your comments below. Let's create a lively and positive exchange for the benefit of architecture education. See you again in the next video. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.